Entre el mar y la arena crecí, Señor, con mi hermano los negros crecí, Señor.
Que lo que mi gente, bienvenidos, welcome to the channel. So this past weekend, I went back to the Dominican Republic. Yes, I went back to the Dominican Republic this past weekend. And I know what you're probably thinking, like, you know, last week he was talking about like, oh, he taking a break from, you know, traveling to the DR and all this stuff, like what's going on. So originally I was supposed to go to Colombia this past weekend, and the problem with Colombia was that you needed a COVID test to enter because this was like a very last minute trip and it was only gonna be for the weekend, and so I didn't have enough time to go get a COVID test. But the Dominican Republic, you don't need a COVID test to enter, and so when I was talking to my friends about it, they told me, they was like, no, you need to come to the DR. So, you know, my friends, they actually threw me a pre-birthday celebration since I'm not gonna be in the DR on my actual birthday. Yeah, so I told them I'm going to another country, and they said, well, can you just come anyways before your birthday? So I ended up going to the DR for the weekend and had a really good time. And so that's what this update is gonna be about. This is gonna be about how were things this weekend in the Dominican Republic. And I'm also gonna cover COVID testing in the DR. But before I start, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get started, baby. So this weekend in the Dominican Republic was actually pretty quiet, believe it or not, for me to be in the capital, because this weekend was Semana Santa. So all the people pretty much, they left the city and they went to go see their families like out in the countryside. Some people went to the coast. So Santo Domingo was pretty empty for the most part. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it that way because Santo Domingo is pretty busy, but it definitely was very, I would say like ghost town like, especially like in Colonial Zone. It was not really that many people there. But once again, it was Semana Santa, so I kind of expected that. In terms of the pandemic, everything was pretty much the same. Like the stores were open, everything was open. The only thing is, you know, you had to wear your mask. Now, when it come down to the curfew, I'm gonna be completely honest, I wasn't really checking for the curfew. I just did not care. Like back in the beginning of the pandemic, when all this first started, yes, they were extremely strict. And even throughout the summer, like, you know, they were arresting people like left and right, but now I feel like they don't really care. There were people out in the street at nighttime. I was out in the street at nighttime. I walked around the city at night, nothing really happened. I don't know if it's because like the police and the people, they just don't care anymore. And I'm not saying that you can't get in trouble, but I'm just telling you, like, from what I did this weekend, I noticed that they just did not care, like it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, things were shutting down, you know, make sure you have food in your house because you know, the restaurants and the stores, they kind of shut down early. I did go out to the club. That surprised me that that was actually still open. Like I told you, I feel like at this point, they don't really care as much anymore, or maybe they do, I just got lucky. It seems like things are slowly coming back to normal. All right, let's talk about COVID testing because that's important. You know, a couple of months back, the United States, they made an announcement that in order to enter the States, you have to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of your flight. So yes, coming back to America, I did have to take a COVID test. So where do you get a COVID test? Do you get it at the airport or do you get it at a clinic? That is completely up to you. I went to a clinic out there. Let me look up the name of it real quick because I forgot the name of it. Oh yeah, by the way, shout out to one of my subscribers, Alan, because he's the one who actually put me onto this laboratory. And yeah, that's my boy. He's from Trinidad. We're supposed to go out to Trinidad, so shout out to the people from Trinidad because I got a lot of subscribers out there. But yeah, like he's supposed to, we're gonna do that Trinidad carnival. All right, but anyway, so let me see. Okay, the name of it is Amaditha Laboratories. All right, so Amaditha is pretty much everywhere through Dominican Republic. They got 1,000-something locations. So just pick a location and go to it. Just open up the Uber app, type in Amaditha Laboratories, and then just pick the one nearest to you. They're open 24 hours, so that's a good thing. What I would recommend though is going early because the line does get kind of long. So yeah, you just go to Amaditha Laboratories, go in, take the test, get the antigen test. You got to get the viral antigen test. That's the one that you need. I think I only paid about somewhere between $35 to $40. You can pay with cash or card. The only thing that is required is your passport or your driver's license, and that's it. But let me just better explain the process. So like, there's a limit of the amount of people that can actually be inside the building. So you might start off like waiting outside in the line, and then once you're able to walk into the building, they'll prompt you to go to a screen. You'll select the reason for why you're there, and then they'll print you out a ticket. So once you get your ticket, they'll call you, and there's like a big flat screen at the front of the room, and it'll be highlighted with your number, and they'll announce it for you to come up to the front. And that's where you go to pay and sign a couple of things, and then you'll sit back down, and then they'll call you to go take the test. You go take the test, they're gonna email your results. So make sure that, you confirm your email to make sure it's the right one. So that's where they'll send you the results. I think I took my test, I wanna say like at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. I didn't get my results back till about 10 o'clock that night. And so they'll tell you exactly when they're gonna send you the results. If you want a paper copy, you might have to come back the next day, but you can go to the airport and show your phone, because that was actually one of my biggest concerns. I was wondering like, will they let me use my phone instead of having a paper copy? And they will. So yeah, they'll give you a code to access your results, and then when you go to the airport, you just show them or you had a negative test. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's really easy. Now, another place you can get tested is at the airport. But let me tell you why I wouldn't get tested at the airport, okay? This is just my personal opinion. You do not have to take my advice. I'm just telling you personally why I would not get tested at the airport, okay? For me, I always want to make sure that I have all my stuff together the day of my flight. And they do have, it's the same laboratory that does the testing at the airport. But the problem with that is, I know how the Dominican Republic can get sometimes, and they have a track record of, not being the most organized place. So, and no offense to the Dominican Republic, I'm just being honest. And so like, I would hate to get to the airport and then like they don't have enough tests, or maybe the line is too long, or maybe it'll take a long time to get your results. They say the results take like 45 minutes over there at the airport, but I just don't want to risk it because like, you just never know. And especially like this past Easter Sunday for like Semana Santa, that airport was packed, bro. Like, I've never seen the airport that crowded other than Christmas. Man, like it was, I personally don't want to like be trying to get a COVID test and then trying to check into my flight, and waiting for results. Because, if it takes more than 45 minutes, that could make you late for your flight. So I just don't want to I don't want to be doing all that stuff at last minute. I just felt like it's just easier, just one day during your vacation, 72 hours before your flight, just go out to a laboratory near you, take that little hour and a half out your day to go do it, and then just have your results, because you do not want to show up to that airport trying to get a COVID test last minute. The only way I would do that is if I get to the airport like hella early, because you already got to be at the airport about 2 to 3 hours early anyways. But I would probably go like 4 hours early just to play it safe, just in case you got to wait in line or whatever. And if you are someone who got tested at the airport with no problems, that's good to know. But for me, I just know that past Sunday, it was packed at the airport, and I couldn't afford to miss my flight because I couldn't get a COVID test because I had to work the next day. So that's just me. But yeah, that's pretty much for this video, guys. It does seem like things are slowly starting to get back normal to the Dominican Republic. So, if you're somebody who's thinking about traveling out there right now, go right ahead. I think you'll have a good time. But yeah, stay tuned for next week. I'm gonna be in a different country, and yeah, like I can't wait to go out there and vlog. Like I think it's gonna be really cool. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. Don't forget that subscribe button, and thanks for watching. Hasta luego.